So we're at the Warden Cellars rep. We got a ways to go yet. So now we're in his cellar. I guess this is under his mansion. As you remember, Inquisitor Creed's entry, he kept saying he was hearing stuff. Looked outside, didn't see anything. It's because it was under him the whole time. This transport labyrinth. And if you remember the other lore notes earlier, they would say wagons of people would leave Devil's Crossing. They didn't know where they went, and they never came back. Well, they went here. They got dropped off in Burridge. You have to watch this totem in here that we're getting ready to do. If you're a different class, different spec, maybe you're not as strong, this totem can wreck you. Especially on Elite and Ultimate, because it's got a lot of big ethereals, like Titans. Yeah. This guy, Ironside Hulks, it says. Hell, I might die here. There's a reflect mob. Let's just get back a ways. Let's see if we can kite him out of there. Maybe I shouldn't have tried this. Sometimes you just gotta run away and kite them around. Luckily, Reflect doesn't do so much to us because we're not really doing a lot of damage right now. But in Ultimate, you can just one-shot yourself if you're not built your character correctly. See how much experience we got? 2.5 bars just from that. Those are some nice pants we just got. Impervious or reptilian resistance, so it's got a bunch of resists, some movement speed, some physique, everything we need. Look at that, level 10 requirements, so even though we're 21. What else we got here? Shoulders were good. What's this ring? Okay, we'll keep that for now. And if you were on veteran, it would even be harder. I don't recommend folks play on veteran, but some folks like the extra challenge and play how you want to play. I feel this is one of the most in-depth games for character development in the ARPG market, between the items, the classes, the skills, the devotions, the monster infrequents. There's really nothing else like it. I don't think there's anything. I'm going to just explore the whole map just because. That would be a nice amulet if we didn't have the monster infrequent. Uses everything we need. Physical damage. Has 100 health on it, more or less. Some regen and some poison resist. So it'd be good if we weren't using what we're using. Speaking of, let me check that real quick. You remember when we first picked it up? It was 127. Physical added to force wave. Let's see what it is now. 162. It scales up apparently with your level. Some say it scales up every time you do, like, you get extra physical damage, but I don't know. I think it scales up with your level. I'm not exactly a Grim Dawn expert, but I'm learning a lot of stuff in Act 1 that I didn't know about. Because I never read the lore notes because I couldn't see the font. And I wasn't going to put my glasses on to read it, so I just, okay, thanks for the XP, which way to the loop? You see now we're starting to get low on energy if we spam too much force wave, so we might have to put a ectoplasm in our ectoplasm as a component. We can put it in like our ranged metals to give you a little bit extra energy. Alright, so I think our damage is good for right now. I'm going to get some more points here in the mastery bar to fill out some squad tactics and then move on and keep filling that out until I get Minhir's Bulwark, because these give you health and your base stats too, so very nice. There's a rift gate. This is a dead end. Other playthroughs, this will be open, and this other way that we're going to have to go will be blocked off. So instead of randomizing the maps, like you got in Diablo and PoE, it's just blocked and you just have to go a different way. Some maps are more annoying than others. Yeah, these underground transits, this is what Inquisitor Creed is hearing. See the tracks of the carts? Now we're in a storeroom. Abandoned storerooms up there at the top right. And notice you don't see nothing really stored here, except monsters. This is where they used to keep all the people. You can see the blood stains. This is where they would keep the people they were transporting around before they killed them or whatever they did. Nice. 3% experience gain, 2 resist. Well, 1 resist and 1 secondary resist. Almost looks like it would be an underground thing to go somewhere, but it doesn't go anywhere. Here's a devotion shrine here. Leather belt of mending. demonic does vitality and chaos damage. Mending gives you the health regen per second. That's not something we're going to use today. Our primary damage types is physical and internal trauma. And once we get to Blitz, probably many levels now, because there's some monster frequency that we gotta do to lower the cooldown. You don't want to use it now because it's too slow. But Force Wave early on is really strong. You can even level all the way to 50 if you just watched a little bit what you did. Totem, what do we got here? What was those? Well, the plus 12 spirit will help energy regen, but blight is not really any good for us. Who cares about? We don't really do poison damage. How much armor was on those? 105 to 66 and 10% physical damage. We'll use it. We'll use it. Oh, here we go. The of Supremacy suffix gives you +2 to Force Wave. So we'll definitely equip that. That'll be a huge, well, once I find it, here it is. So we see we're at 3209, 3478, so it gives us 200 and almost 260 DPS extra. Of course, it'll drain our energy faster, but we can fix this. You see now I'm pretty much just one-shotting all the monsters here. Everything's just a one-shot, and if it's not one-shot, they bleed out. Well, not bleeding out, it's a physical dot. Internal trauma is a physical dot. Bleeding is actually a different damage type, which they could consolidate some of the damage types in the game, but I've been saying that for years. Pierce damage to me makes no sense. How many points we got? We got 23 out of 16, so we got 3 more to go before we're at cap, because you can get 10 over. Alright, so now we're actually in the hidden laboratory. So here we go, we got 4th and 5th entries. These lore notes.
Inquisitor Creed, Entry 5. Krieg has gotten the better of me and I am presently at his mercy, imprisoned beneath his manor. Seeing no other way to progress in my investigation, I forced my way into the locked portion of the manor and found myself in a veritable house of horrors. The unusual sorcery on the larks should have been my first clue that I was dealing with something more extraordinary than some rogue occultist. My search led me through a room filled with the rotting bodies of men and women, subjected to brutal torture or horrible experimentation, or perhaps some mix of the two. Behind the manor I found a door leading down into the earth beneath the estate, where I found myself quickly lost in an implausibly large dungeon. It wasn't long before I sensed things moving in the darkness all around me, and they quickly closed in, surrounding me. As I prepared to fight for all I was worth, Krieg's massive form emerged from the shadows, his face expressionless. He spoke coolly as though nothing at all was out of the ordinary, and invited me to tour his facility. While I had no doubt that something unpleasant was planned for me, it at least delayed my confrontation with the living horrors gathering in the dark. Inquisitor Creed, Entry 6. I've lingered in this dank cell for one long, unsettling day and a night of terrors. Krieg allowed me to witness the process by which they are preserving human bodies for what he calls the glorious dawn. I have gotten glimmerings of another consciousness within Krieg, which is joined with or possibly in control of him. From the way he spoke, it is clear that this is only some small part of a much greater conspiracy, and I suspect many other persons in key positions have been possessed by things akin to that which now inhabits Krieg. I was arrogant in my initial handling of Krieg, and seriously misjudged the power and scale of the threat we are faced with. Fortunately, Krieg's own arrogance has likewise led him to misjudge the resourcefulness of his prisoner. He has invited me to ascend beyond humanity by pledging myself to his cause, or to join his inventory of embalmed corpses. I've been left to contemplate this decision, but this cell, even magically warded, cannot hold the likes of me, and I have no intention of being here when Krieg returns for my answer.
This must be the mansion or the facilities that Krieg was talking about with Inquisitor Krieg. Yeah, just tour the facility. You can come and ascend with us. Here's a lectern. Gathran's notes. Gathran's notes. Alright. Let's have a read on this.
Gathran's notes. First entry. It is unclear why the Ethereals are so interested in tissue preservation. One of my colleagues has posited that they may intend to use human corpses as vessels for possession when they bring more of their kind into our realm. Wagon loads of corpses continue to stream in day and night. The sheer quantity is staggering, and I begin to suspect that they are not merely executed criminals as we've been told.
Yeah, that's what, was it Bourbon that said that in Devil's Crossing? Or one of those NPCs, I forget which one it was now. Maybe it was Barnabas. There was wagons of people being carted out of Devil's Crossing prison, but they never came back. Interesting. Man, there's so much lore and story for just this first playthrough. Even I don't remember it all. Here's a second entry. So many wandering dead around here, you can't take a break to read it. Which that's also one of the reasons why I never read the lore notes. I just clicked my inventory, clicked it, and hit escape twice. So Gathran's notes, second entry.
Gathran's notes. Second entry. We entered stage 2 of our trials today, but the results were not what I had anticipated. We've progressed to the point where the corpses can endure for months, possibly years, with minimal, mostly external deterioration. Our ethereal overseer seemed satisfied, and he, or it, unexpectedly placed his hand upon one of the corpses and released a spark of ethereal energy. The thing began to move as if it were alive again. It was a ghastly sight. What I found far more troubling, though, is that these corpses are clearly not meant to serve as ethereal hosts. It has become known to me that they prefer living hosts. The sheer number of corpses they are hauling through here suggests a far worse realization: an army.
Yeah, the Devil's Crossing prisoners that may have not actually been prisoners. Is that the third one? Well, it just says final entry. Look at the blood on the floor and on the wall, on the floor here. Final entry. Alright, we gotta go kill this guy. Final entry.
Githran's notes. Final entry. This will be my last entry, as I have determined to end my life. I cannot bring myself to carry out these abominable experiments any longer. I may have already doomed humanity with my actions, though I have long felt shunned by my fellows at the Academy and thought the Ethereals could offer me something greater. I can no longer be a part of this. I fear that if they find my body, they will use me for their experimentations, so I must be discreet. Returning as one of those things would be unbearable.
Wow. So this guy offed himself so the Ethereals could not use his body, because they can't possess a dead target. It has to be living. Interesting. Didn't know that either. They did. That's him right there. So they must have got to him before he could kill himself then. Because this is Githran right here. So either that happened or I misunderstood his final entry. Living quarters, huh? Abandoned storage. Huh. I never come down here when I play. So I'm going to go over here and see what this is. Abandoned storerooms. I definitely never. Interesting. What's this slicer? Oh, it's Nightblade. It adds acid damage to Shadow Strike and converts the pierce damage to it to Shadow Strike, to acid. Jesus. That Gethrin dude was never able to take his own life before the Ethereals possessed him. Zandbrand's notes.
My colleague Geithrand took his life today, that short-sighted fool.
Oh.
He could never see the big picture, and this project was no different. Geithrand could not fathom the glorious vision of the Ethereals and the role we will play as early human collaborators. This isn't about personal gain. We will elevate humanity. Certainly there has been a cost in lives, but progress always has a price. So what of the dirty masses who will perish in the glorious dawn when the Ethereals reveal themselves to the world? To the Ethereals we are like some base primitive creature, as the Slith are to us. Those of us who will serve, or better yet, bond with an Ethereal, shall forge a new human future.
So if that's true, that guy did take his own life, and the Ethereals were able to inject energy into him to resurrect him or possess him or whatever you call it. Oh, this guy got ascended too. We just got done reading his lore note, and they got him too. That must be what it means when it says the Ascended. Because I think the other guy was the Ascended also. Oh, cool. Supremacy, so there's more Force Wave. There, 25. Alright, let's go get Warden Creed.
I've been expecting.
He's getting chunked so hard because I have really high damage with all those plus skills.
And when I'm done with you, I will crush your friends and grow strong. Now, I will damage my true power.
This guy has 2 phases. Ran out of energy there. one, but a missive to Warden Krieg. Alright, we'll read that in a minute. Alright, so that actually concludes Act 1. But there's going to be one more part to this for Act 1.
Is it finished? Is the Warden dead? The Warden's defeat is a great victory for us, nay, for all of humankind. But there are many more ethereals out there, some much more powerful than Krieg. Perhaps more disturbing, though, there are those of our own kind who would see us dead to take what little we have, or just for the pleasure of killing. Among the innocent who passed through this prison on their way to Krieg's lab were many violent criminals, murderers, and worse. Many of them escaped to the northwest after the grim dawn, forming into ruthless gangs who prey upon drifters still traveling the roads. Since a river separates us and them, they have not been a problem thus far. Except we need farmers to get back to the business of growing food before we all starve to death. The farmland that supplied this region is to the northwest, and we need to secure a hold there. Mornay recently returned from Old Arkovia to the northwest and can give you details on the outlaw situation and what needs to be done. I realize that you have been through much in recent days, but we cannot rest just yet. The Warden's defeat is a great...
So you must be the kid that's causing a stir in my absence. You've done good by dispatching Krieg. I knew that man in life. I dread to think of what he had become as an ethereal. Aye, an old mess has come back to finally bite us right in the ass. The river's kept them at bay for now, what with a broken bridge. It seems the bastards have garnered a taste for the one hole in the world they were once so eager to escape. I'm not going to beat around the bush. We're at war, and if we don't take the fight to them, they will surely bring it to us. I'd much rather fight on my own terms. Wouldn't you? Before we do anything, we'll need to get that bridge repaired. Got men ready to do the work and some scrap to get you started. Just need to provide the remaining raw materials. Once that's all finished, I need you to enter the Arkovian foothills and show those bastards we're not a prize for the taking. Last I saw of them, they were mobilizing for something big across the river. Why don't you head on over there and introduce yourself?
Alright, so repair the bridge leading out northwest. That concludes most of Act 1. Now I'm going to do one more part of this because there's a couple lore notes in various places that I didn't find on the playthrough that I got to look up to see where they drop. And then once I find that, then we will go get those. This is Missive to Warden Krieg. This fell off of Krieg's body when we killed him.
Warden Krieg, excuse this crude form of communication. I am far to the north, and it seems my thoughts are unable to reach you. In all future material correspondence, we will use our host names and common human language forms. I write looking for clarification of recent perplexing reports on your conduct. Is it true that you have been incarcerating and tormenting humans? What is the purpose for this? It would seem that your host's predilections are affecting your own behavior. You must bring this under your control and cease this superfluous activity. Your role is to facilitate our laboratories with the collection of corpses. Limit yourself to the parameters of this task, or you will be recalled.
Here's the bridge. Now it says it needs 6 scrap and 3,000 iron bits, but when we talked to Bourbon just a minute ago, he's like, oh, I got plenty of scrap, just need the rest of the raw materials. Well, I guess he doesn't have enough scrap. And then, as you see here, the quest updates to kill Edmund Shanks Doyle. So thanks for watching, guys. That concludes Act 1. I'm going to have another separate part here because there's a couple lore notes, like I mentioned, that we didn't quite find. I'm going to go look up where those actually drop and go get there. I specifically didn't look up where anything dropped when I was playing.